George, Karl, and Amin El-Hassan here to talk about the association. George, they didn't bring Phil to New York for 4-16. But the other question here is, can he fix what's wrong there? What's his biggest challenge?
I don't think he can this year. I think it's going to be. I think he's got to take the hits and put the target on his chest, and maybe let Derek Fisher grow up as a coach and evaluate. I think he's got to evaluate the roster, see who he wants to keep around. I mean, they can pursue trades, but I don't think they have enough tradable options or actions to make the team better. I mean, you don't want to make a small move that just makes it a little bit better. If there's a move out there that you can get drastically improved in the season, which I predict would not happen, it'll have to be in free agency. It'll have to be next summer. They do have a lot of cap space. They do have a draft pick, so they can retool and refix it. But
yeah.
I think the hole they've dug, where they are, they just got battle.
There's a learning curve clearly with the offense that they're trying to run there. Is it ever going to click? I mean, is it possible that it's just he's got the wrong personnel and it will never work there?
That's very possible. If you look at that roster, there are a lot of pieces that don't fit. And the whole idea is, and I think Coach would agree with me, is right now you're looking at this year, who are the guys that are grasping it better than others? Who are the guys that moving forward, you're a keeper. You're someone that we can see being here a long time, as opposed to the guys who just aren't getting it and need to be somewhere else.
Is Carmelo a keeper?
I think he's got to evaluate that. I mean, it's a situation where, you know, if Melo could bring in a couple pieces or some draft picks for the future, I mean, I think this has got to be a total overhaul. This is just not a tinkering job. This is a powerful decision where who they keep has got to be a good decision. It can't be a decision a year from now. You say, well, we shouldn't have kept him then. You
know, when you talk about Melo, I think about them pulling the same okey doke they pulled on Amari Stoudemire. You get someone in the bag, signed long term to attract someone else. And then you start to transition away from that guy. Maybe Melo's turn is coming soon.
So the patience they've been practicing in Philadelphia, they probably should be practicing in Manhattan right now. It's not all doom and gloom. Let's talk about two players that have been absolutely sensational this season. We saw them in the highlights, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis. Steph Curry's team having all the success, Coach, but Anthony Davis putting up crazy numbers. If you had a choice today, who's your MVP?
Well, I got to give it to the team at 16-2. I mean, right now, Steph Curry is leading the best team in basketball, playing a great brand of basketball. They've improved offensively, which has been the biggest improvement that Steve Kerr has brought to the team. But they are still a very strong defensive team, and I think they have the most talented depth roster. The roster is filled with talent all over the place. And people forget, David Lee is not playing. Here's an all-star caliber basketball player that has not even been on the court except maybe for 2 games this year. So I think it's Steph's leadership. He seems he's on a mission. He seems like he's committed. He seems like he wants this stage. So that's what I give it to.
Coach Karl's stealing all my picks. Come on, Coach. Why am I here if you're going to say everything that I was going to say?
Be the contrarian.
No, I can't. Curry is, to me, my MVP as well. Like Coach said, wow. The Warriors are the best team in basketball right now by record. They're a deep team. They're talented. They're offensively clicking. Nothing against Anthony Davis. He's having a remarkable year, and this is the last year we'll ever talk about him as not the best player in basketball. Starting next season, I think he'll be in that conversation every single time. He'll have his chance for MVPs later. Right now, Steph Curry.
I think he's the most talented basketball player in the NBA. I think he does everything in the game of basketball at such a high level. If you gave a report card, I think Anthony Davis gets the best report card of all the players. Even LeBron James.
Most complete.
Even LeBron James
really?
and Kevin Durant, who I think everybody thinks is ahead of him.
That's high praise.
I think this guy is going to do it. By the end of this year, he will do all those things at a higher level over every aspect of the game of basketball.
Wow. If he got him in the playoffs, would that sway your votes? If you got the Pelicans in there?
With that roster, yes. It would push. But if the Warriors are as good as they are now throughout the year, it's hard to switch off Curry.
Wow, what a season for Steph Curry.